What is going on, everybody? So sorry for the delay in me coming back. I had a phone call, then also it started pouring rain. I had to move all my stuff. Here I am. So I apologize for the delay. I also had to upload and send a few things, and I also had to make and send a few emails, also a phone call. So I apologize for the delay when I said I was coming back. But I am back. I keep my promises, but so sorry for the long delay. I am honestly truly exhausted right now. I mean, it is, I think, like past 4 a.m. my time, but I will try to read just a little bit more. We're going to be on page 31 out of 50. For those of you just joining in, we are reading about trust, natural trust. You see the title is The Natural Law Trust for Asset Protection for Peaceful People. That's the title of what I'm reading. So please do join, and when please do share, like, follow, subscribe the live. I will obviously upload. Once these lives are uploaded from TikTok, I will post them so everybody can, watch as you please and follow along and whatnot. The rest of the videos from the beginning of this reading, from page I think 1 to 20. It's on Instagram, on my Instagram page, which is known before it's known with an R at the end. You guys can check in my profile, and it's linked to my TikTok. So go follow me on Instagram as well, please. And let's I guess I'm gonna finish smoking a cigarette, and let's read. Which I love to read. I'm just a little bit exhausted. Oh, what's up, Patrice? How are you doing? I was actually just gonna message you again. I sent you the documents for the new. My mind is blank. The documents for the new the new incorporation or whatever of Israel. I don't even have words right now for it, but I sent you the links for those documents. I knew I see them earlier today, but yeah. So I'm going to be reading. I was reading earlier about the natural law trust and generally everything about it. We're in the Q&A section. I'm on page 31 out of 50. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish smoking the cigarette and I'm gonna read then. Other than that, what's going on with everybody else? How's everybody doing tonight? Or today? So, alright, basically where we're at is page 31. These are questions and answers basically left. So for people that have questions and answers about all related trust questions. So I'm going to start reading. So, this is the question. Are there any other costs or fees besides the setup cost? No. This is the answer. No, there are no annual fees or further costs or fees to be paid to a good trust writer's trust unless you engage him for any special consulting needs that are above and beyond the normal consulting he provides that is directly related to the creation of the trust and the commencement of your operation of it. Next question. I am very interested in this and wonder whether a single trust could be set up for both my wife and myself. Answer. Yes, the great thing about these trusts is not being subject to the millions of ever-changing statutes, but rather only to the everlasting and ever the same natural law. You basically have limitless freedom and flexibility to design adapt, modify, and operate the trust any way you like, as long as you don't use it to violate the rights of anyone else or the basic rules of good trust construction. You and your wife can be co-trustees, and you can make the powers, responsibilities, and privileges of each of you as specific or as general as you wish. You can also make her protector, who has the power to hire and fire trustees, or you can make her manager, managing trustee, successor, trustee, or beneficiary. Or, if you really want to give her complete freedom, you can set her up an entirely separate trust for her and encourage her to be the manager or trustee of it. There are lots of ways you can go. The how of it, specific to your situation, is better discussed with the trust writer. Next question. What book is this? This is called The Natural Law Trust: Asset Protection for Peaceful People by the Benefactor. I honestly bought this from some website. I don't even remember the website. This was like a few months ago. I'm finally now getting around to reading it. So yeah, it's like 50 pages, which is nothing, but it's really honestly like a really great just like, you know, overall general explanation of all the trust that, you know, not all the trust, excuse me, just basic trust things. And if you go to my Instagram, it's like pages 1 to 20, and then from like there it's on my Instagram, the reading of this, and then the rest will be uploaded later on TikTok. They said it would be like 94 minutes. It was like I was going live for, I don't know, about 2.5 hours, give or take. So I promise I will post that later on as soon as it uploads, like, so, you know, you guys can follow along. I wish that I would remember what link I bought this from. I really don't know. If I come across it, I'll figure it out. I had a few people ask me if I can send them a copy. I don't know when I will have time to literally scan in 50 pages. If I do have some time at some point, I will, and I'll share it. I don't mind, but I can't promise that. I don't like to make promises I can't keep. So I'm just being honest. Anyways, next question. Can I put all my assets into one trust? Answer: You could, but it is not recommended. If your assets are substantial, the traditional cardinal rule among all wealthy people who use trust is have a different trust for each different asset. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Have one each house, one for each car, one for each business, one for each investment, etc., etc. In the early 1990s, it was rumored that the Rockefellers had as many as 7,000 of these trusts. I wasn't sure if that was 70,000. 7,000 of these trusts. The reason is, what if you were to put all your assets into one trust and then some problem were to arise with it? All the assets might be at risk. It is rare and unlikely that the trust would never be successfully attacked legally or that it would be penetrated. In fact, we have never once heard of that happening with a good natural law trust. But what if you had made the mistake of appointing co-trustees who later became disagreeable with you? If the conflict between trust officers were to arise, could they take your assets from it? 1 minute. All right, page 32. Again, these trusts are set up so ingeniously and so beautifully that their very design minimizes the chances of problems. The design is fabulous, and so if the trust is operated according to the guidelines suggested, and if you are not using the trust in dangerous or questionable activities, then it is extremely unlikely that the assets in it would ever be at risk. But the whole point of asset protection is to maximize the security of the assets. Thus, the traditional cardinal principle is have a different trust for each different asset. Next question. What is your feeling towards a private interest foundation as opposed to a trust? The answer. We have no particular opinion other than we generally prefer natural law entities over statutory ones. In addition, please be aware that good natural law trusts can operate as foundations. The only possible disadvantage we can think of is that if you are accepting donations and you want the donors to be able to write off their donations on their tax returns as tax deductible, then your foundation may have to be a statutory entity. We are assuming that's what you are referring to in Canada. As a private interest foundation, in the US, a 5013C can operate as a foundation and be tax exempt, but it is a statutory entity and thus is subject to a long list of regulations. It does, however, offer the benefit that donors to it can have their donations be tax deductible. If your foundation is a philanthropic, oh my god, I can't even say this word right now. Philanthropic, excuse me, and will be giving donations rather than receiving them, then a good natural law trust could be set up that way and would be far superior in our opinion because it would have no tax agency or government filing requirements and would therefore be subject only to natural laws. Example, don't lie, don't steal, don't violate the basic rights of others, etc. It would be free of the millions of ever-changing statutes legislated by politicians and lawyers every year. Or, if your foundation will be receiving donations, but you don't care whether the donations will be tax deductible for the donors, then too, the natural law trust would be superior. Next question. Does the setup include bylaws and shares setup of the corporation? The answer. The bylaws of the trust are in the indenture of the corpus of it. They are not termed bylaws, but that's basically what they are. Shares of the trust are called units. These are all explained in the indenture and in the manual. However, the trust is not properly called a corporation. A corporation is a public entity that is generally statutory. That's why these trusts are sometimes called unincorporated business organizations. Those are UBO. Whomever wants to go live after I'm done reading, if you guys still want to, that's fine, I will, but I want to just get through this as fast as possible. I mean, so don't think I'm being rude, I promise. Like, I don't mind doing a panel, but like after, because like my mind is already like, not that I'm tired, but I'm not tired, if that makes sense. So yeah. In a few. So next question. Is there an ongoing process as growth of the trust foundation needs? Absolutely. That's the whole purpose of it. If there were no ongoing process and growth expansion, then it would be a dormant entity and have little or no purpose. Most users of these trusts add documents to the trust on an ongoing basis, recording every significant transaction in a 3-ring paper binder, notebook, and in the computer files. Guidelines for all this are included in the indenture and in the manual that come with the trust. Next question. Now this is page 33. After the trusts are set up, we can move most of our money into the trusts from the RV. What RV stands for is revaluation of currencies. That's what RV stands for, if anybody's curious and wondering. So the answer, yes, it is the best to have the trust set up prior to the RV, and also the currencies exchanged into the trusts prior to the RV. If you have a good trust writer set the trust up for you, then upon your request, he can also provide you a template document you can adapt for your trust called Addendum to Schedule A, Personal Property. Foreign currency exchanged into the trust, as you know, there is not supposed to be any capital gains tax imposed on any dinar or dong holders anywhere, but it is designated as a currency exchange and not an investment. However, even the taxman does try to impose a capital gains tax It would be totally inapplicable to exchanges conducted for currencies owned by these trusts because they are non-taxable. That is, providing the exchange has been documented prior to the RV. That's why we recommend the addendum to Schedule A, personal property. Foreign currency exchanged into the trust must be notarized to prove that the date of execution was prior to the RV date. Alright, next question. Can one trust have the money in several different banks, or will we have to divide the money up into different banks and have a trust for each bank? FDIC has been bankrupt since 2008 and is no protection. The answer. One trust can have as many bank accounts as you want, in as many banks as you want. However, it is also recommended to have a different trust for each different asset. A separate note, unrelated to the trust though, is that a much safer banking system is coming. Some say it is already here. The RV is just a part of the new worldwide system, which is asset-backed and which would make FDIC much stronger, or even redundant and unnecessary. FDIC. Yeah. I didn't even, I mean, we've all been bankrupt, so I mean, that's nothing new. But it's just interesting that they mention it like that. Right, next question. Can the trust invest and not have to pay taxes on the profits? Answer, yes. Exempt statutory entities like 501(c)(3)s don't have to pay taxes either, but the difference with a good design of natural law trust is that such trusts file no returns. And this is the next question, I'm sorry. I'll probably, my arm hurts. I'm probably gonna stop right here because also, like, I'm not retaining the information anymore, so I'm not gonna keep going. It's like way too late for it to be reading and retaining, you know? Yeah, it says the FDIC has been bankrupt since 2008. I thought it's been, I mean, that's what I remember too, something like that, but, well, that tells it all about the investigation on these banks. Yeah, right? It's like, I guess, I mean, like, it's very strange. Maybe that's why they're not really even trying to pay out any. I don't know. It's weird because it's like there's so much money, but then they pretend like there's not, but it's not really the way it works. It's all an illusion one way or another, you know? I mean, I know you know, but it's like a deep illusion in like so many different ways. So this will be the last question and answer. After the RV, the U.S. Treasury will be closely monitoring where every dollar goes. Will this cause a problem? Answer. Before the RV, the cabal has already been closely monitoring where every dollar goes and has already caused countless problems for peaceful, harmless, and life-supporting people everywhere. People think reports are only issued for transactions 10K and above, but FinCEN, Echelon, and other different systems have been tracking every dollar down to the penny in real time for years. The difference with the new system is that the tracking may continue, but the world monetary system will be in new hands. Hands that are more compassionate, more interested in alleviating suffering than causing it, more interested in letting people live free, and more in tune with universal law. So everyone who is harmless, who has the best interests of all life at heart, and who isn't planning to use their money to dominate, exploit, divide, conquer, parasite, violate, or abuse, will thrive and flourish in the new system, uninterfered with, in complete freedom. We would say that the only people who should be concerned about the tracking are those who plan to violate the ethics of the universe with their funds. Whether the funds are in a good natural law trust or not makes no difference in that respect. A good natural law trust is among the best on the planet, but even so, it's like having the best computer. It's still a neutral device. What is done with it depends upon the consciousness and the ethics of the user. One can have the best trust and still commit evil acts with it. That is exactly what members of the dark elite have been doing. They have been using these very same trusts that why they have not legislated against them and will not do so, but the effects of their use of such wonderful instruments have been so harmful to society, as you know. It is time for those of the light to use these very same instruments of such advanced powers of asset protection for spreading the light and the good. Therefore, anyone using these trusts in that way should have absolutely no problem being tracked, being watched, and being recorded as to what they do with their funds. They can be proud of what they are doing and happy to be seen in the full sunshine of the broad daylight. You will find with these trusts and with the educational orientation from which they come that we stand with such strength in the law and in our decades of success, experience, and these trusts, we have nothing to hide and are very not interested, and are not very interested in trying to be unseen. The only thing that we keep unseen really is the corpus of the trust. That is never given to any agency or any bank institution. Only certain pages from it are shown to open bank accounts as necessary and no more. The trust is not publicly recorded anywhere. It is this privacy of its content that is part of the reason for its strength of protection. But other than that, we do everything in the full sunshine of broad daylight and have no worries about any tracking or monitoring. I'm just gonna finish this page. It's almost done. I didn't think it was yellow. Anyways, next question. How would you put a sole proprietorship business into a trust? Step 1. What trust do I recommend? That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I guess, like, I honestly would start with, it depends for each and every individual separately. Like, me, I personally, like, I'm not married, I don't have children, I don't even have a mortgage right now. For me, I would start with a living trust, then maybe put it into an irrevocable, and then, well, actually, living trust, then I would do what's it called? An unincorporated business trust, or it's a UBO, something like that. I don't remember what it's exactly called, but something like that, because I do have a business. And then I would put it into an irrevocable. I mean, I personally don't have that many, like, any assets of, like, substantial means that some others do, you know? Like, if you have real estate, I would definitely do it's like a I think it's a REMIC, like, type of trust. Again, like, there's so many different trusts, and it's, like, really depends on the individual of what they have, what they need. For me, I could keep it really simple because I really don't have that many assets at the moment. That's just me. I personally just want, like, I don't know, it's, like, best to keep it as simple as possible, but everyone should definitely have a private trust. Even if they have, like, a living trust, I see it, like, no matter what, you have to put it in there somewhere in the middle that, like, you're really protecting yourself all the way around, backwards and forwards, you know? So, but, yeah, that's mine. So this is like the last, Q&A, and I'll finish reading this later on today, tonight, whatever, because it's, like, way too late, and it's just, like, I read already, like, I mean, for me, I read a lot. I don't mind reading, I love reading, but it's, like, when I can't even retain the information anymore, I'm done, you know? So the question is, how would you put a sole proprietorship business into a trust? Step 1, follow the instructions in the trust manual for adding assets into the trust. Transfer the assets of the sole proprietorship into the trust via documents that you create and add into the trust notebook. In most cases, there is no wisdom in posting or recording these documents publicly. It is a private transaction. Step 2, begin having all monies, not money, I always say this wrong, MONIES, that were previously paid to the sole proprietorship, now being paid to the trust. Step 3, likewise, begin paying all expenses and expenditures that were previously being paid by the sole proprietorship, now from the trust. And I'm going to end right there for page 34. Yep. We will finish later on. today, tonight. Probably most likely tonight, because I definitely want to get some sleep soon. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Anybody have, let me see. I'm gonna look at the questions. I think that the new system is gonna have everyone get a trust since everything will have a coin. Well, I mean, yeah, hopefully, but I mean, with the trust thing, I speak to a lot of people. I tell them like, get a trust. Everybody's like, what do I need one for? I'm like, the thing is, a lot of people do not. You're welcome. A lot of people don't understand why or what it's for, and it's like, they don't even want to understand. That's what kind of the sad part is. Very sad to me. I don't know. Like, as much as I try to tell people, like, so much shit, like, friends, family, it's like in one ear, out the other, you know? So, I don't know. I just keep saying what I'm saying over and over with so many different things, you know? Like, so much even, like, beyond the trust, like, so much research that I've been a part of over the years. Like, I'm straight up, like, warning people. I mean, me and my friend, like, I have such high respect for him because, like, he's a neuroscientist and, like, he owns part of Neuralink. So it's, like, for years, and I'm saying for years, he's been, like, telling people, hey, you know, this is a security problem, that's a security problem. Like, it's, like, when it's too late, that's only when people realize, like, what's going on, or, like, even care to even have a conversation about it. Because, like, over the years, I've talked to people about so many different things. Like, what do you think about this technology, that technology? People are like, oh, it's too much to handle, to even think about, too much to talk about. Like, I don't want to think about it. And it's like, I don't know, I don't want to call anybody stupid, and, or, like, I don't know what a good, nice word is, but it's like people are in such a la la land that it's like, when it's only too late, that's when people start to, like, be like, oh my god, what is going on, you know, which is horrible. I get it. People are busy. People have families. Believe me, I get it. It's like, that's like, you're in another world, but in a different type of mode. So it's understandable, and it's just, but I don't know. I don't know how to convince more people. It's so hard. And also just being blocked and fucking shadow banned like 24/7, it's hard. But the trust thing, most people don't get it. They don't want to know it. They don't want to hear about it. Before my mom passed away, like, she was killed by a drunk driver about a year ago now. We made a will, but we were literally working on a trust because I was doing a, like, 9/11 case for my father. And what's crazy is we never finished the trust, obviously, because she died out, you know, like, out of nowhere. But the people that have actually assets or real estate, they don't even, like, that I can't even tell you, like, unless you have, like, money, most people, I mean, like, I don't know, I'm talking about, I can only imagine, like, how much money people have, like, certain amounts to even cover the taxes and the probate of what you would have to pay in, like, your life. I mean, depending on your real estate or whatever, maybe, it's not fucking cheap. And it's like the amount of time it takes to even get the money, it's like, it's absurd, to be quite honest, you know? It's absurd. And I can't stress enough, it's absurd. Like, thank God, like, so I have a house in New York, and in Pennsylvania we just sold the house, but Pennsylvania was probated because of, like, the 9/11 case that I was working on with my mom for my dad. So luckily it was already probated and already paid for and all that. But it's like, most people don't even have money. I mean, like, to get it probated when you're alive, it's like about $5,000, you know? And it's like, but then when you pass away and you only have a will, and it's like, then you have the amount of taxes you have to pay. It's insane, you know? It's like, most people don't have that. They have to then sell the house, you know? Like, houses. It's crazy, though. Most people think that because they have a will, too, they're covered, which is not the case, you know? That's where it's like, again, unless you've lived through it and gone through it and, you know, experienced it, most have no idea what they're in for. And it's, like, really a sad thing, especially when it's, like, you lose somebody you love and care about, and you have to deal with all that. I mean, like, I have to say, God, like, thank God, and, like, you know, me, my brother, my sister have been blessed that, like, the amount of money we had for covering everything, it was like we didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, but it was still like such a fucking waste of money in so many different ways with so many different things that it like hurt to have to go through it. And then like try talking to like my brother or sister that want to hear nothing of what I have to say, of like, hey, how about we do it a different way, you know? It's horrible. It's really hard to convince people that have no idea of this system of like what we're learning and are, you know, talking about. Like, it's really hard, you know? That's where it's like, I have no idea. I don't know how to make it easier. And it's like, I do understand people they're in this world and that's the way we're raised. So it's a lot of indoctrination, you know? So it is what it is. We can only do so much and try to share, and this is obviously, I keep telling people it's not for everybody, but at the same time it's like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to commit to something that would change your life for the better in like so many aspects, you know, like for the best and better. I personally don't, like, I get bored so easily with so many different things, but I've never understood how people can just be okay with being in one place and like just fucking, are you not bored of the same thing over and over and over? You know, I don't know. Again, teach their own. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just saying, whatever. So yeah, if anybody, I don't know, I did say if you guys want to join the live, but I mean, I don't know what you guys want to really talk about at this point. If you want, you guys can. If you just request, I'll add you guys, because I did say I would do that, but if not, that's fine too. I'm gonna try to go to sleep then. And then, you know, definitely will go later, live later today, tonight. I did, honestly, this is literally my third time ever going live on TikTok. I just figured maybe I'll try to start sharing here, because Instagram lately is like totally not letting me load my live videos. I was literally reading UCC laws, and USC laws. I got like 2 done, and then it literally blocked. Yeah, today at 2 p.m. Central. I was gonna ask you what time are you going live. Awesome. All right, cool. Sounds good. So I'll make sure I wake up by then. Yeah, Instagram, literally, when I was, you know, the live was done, I was live for like, I was so upset too, because it was such a good live. Instagram literally said, when I was uploading the live, that they're trying to protect community, and it's like, I literally was, yeah, Instagram, no, I'm not joking, I literally was straight up reading a few USC laws, and like the UCC, nothing, did not speak about anything else. And then it said, like, you know, it cut the live. I mean, like, when I uploaded it, it said that they're, you know, I can't post it because they're protecting their community. I screenshotted whatever it said. I was like, no way, fuck them. I mean, but it's not, it's everywhere. It's Facebook, I'm sure TikTok too. Even though TikTok is, you know, TikTok, I've said I'm saving TikTok for like the last like resort, because over the years how shadow banned I've been. Like, I've been shadow banned like for years already, because I've always oh yeah, hiding the truth is not even the word. Like, it's insane. So like my friend that I was talking about, he's a neuroscientist. He's actually really like famous neuroscientist. In like 2017, I said to him, I'm like, how in the fuck do you have like fucking 10 views on something that should have millions of views? And he laughed at me. He was like, what do you suggest I do? And I'm like, I don't know, but why is that? And he was like, well, why is it that you can't seem to be talking to people either? You know, we were like, and I laughed, and I'm like, I don't know. He's like, and he asked me, like, but he was joking, kind of making fun of me. He's like, what do you suggest, you know? I'm like, I don't know, but it's the truth. It's like, you can say the truth and like stand on a stage in front of thousands, and it's like, it's really hard to get the message across no matter what, it seems. It's just, it's done by design, of course, but it is horrible. Anyways, thank you everybody for joining, and I hope everybody has a blessed day, evening, whatever time, wherever you're at. I'll talk to you guys later. As soon as the TikTok lives are uploaded with TikTok, I will post them to be live also. But anyways, I'm gonna go, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you guys later. See you guys later.